So thanks. So as Mark explained, Paul Gromer, I'm with Peregrine Energy Group. We're a consulting firm, and we've been assisting Lexington with its community choice aggregation program. And I'll just give you a few of the highlights for that and then some of the goals for the program going forward. As Mark explained, it's a group buying program where the town selects an electricity supplier for the community. And Lexington chose to use that tool to achieve or to obtain 100% renewable energy supply for Lexington. There are, as Mark said, there are about 120 communities across the state that have community choice aggregation. So far, about 10% of them are using it to go green, but that's definitely the trend, and more communities are looking to do that. Let's talk for a minute about who's in the program now, and you can see that on the chart behind me. There are about nearly 10,000 utility accounts that are part of the town program. It's the great majority of the town's residential accounts, over 9,000 of those, or about 80% of the total. And then about half the business accounts, but only a little bit less than 10% of the business electricity. And that's typical for aggregations. The way aggregations work is they automatically pick up the electricity accounts where the account owner has not chosen a competitive electricity supplier. That's nearly all the residents, and it's most of the small businesses, but most of the big businesses have already made their choice of supplier, so they don't become part of the program automatically. They would have to join. Let's talk for a second about how much this costs. Mark, can you flip to the next slide? So the program launched with the goal of being 100% renewable and a tiny bit less, at least a tiny bit less than the Eversource basic service price, so that the residents could get something greener that would cost a little bit less. And the program achieved that at program launch, and you can see that with the bars on the left. So the blue bar is the price for the average monthly charges for someone who is on Eversource basic service. And then that dark green bar next to it, a smidge lower, is the average charge for someone who's part of the aggregation program. So that's how it worked for the first 6 months. Starting in January, the financial performance is much better, or even better. The Eversource price will go up quite a lot on January 1st, but the aggregation price will stay the same. And so for the 6 months from January to June, participants in the aggregation program not only get 100% green energy, will actually save about $20 a month on their electric bill. Now, that's more than was hoped for, and I don't have any expectation that that level of savings will continue going forward. The Eversource price is certain to drop back down again next summer, but at least for the next 6 months, this is both a big winner, both environmentally and financially. Let's talk for a second about the environmental impact, which is really the reason that we're all here tonight. Mark, could you go back to your slide that shows the, I don't even know what to call that kind of graph, but the one that shows the impact of community choice? Waterfall graph. All right, you're here. So you learn a new word every day, so that's mine for today. So the program is already having a big environmental impact. And where we are now is the aggregation program is I guess that's purple, that darkish blue color there that's highlighted, and we're to the left side of it. So already the aggregation program is having a big environmental impact. But Lexington being Lexington, having launched the most successful aggregation program in the state, that's not enough, and there's a goal to do more. And to grow that size of the big purple waterfall, a piece of the waterfall, to make it bigger and to achieve really almost half the emission reductions that are in the town's goals. And the way to do that is to get more participants in the program. So the first group, and if we can go back to my slide that shows the graph of who's in. The first group is the additional residential customer. So if you're 80% of the residents are in now, the first goal would be to get that other 20% into the program. And where the program is financially now, I can't believe there's any offer that those residents could be receiving that's better than what they can get from the town program. The next goal is the commercial and industrial customers, the biggest customers. They're a harder nut to crack because they enter their own long-term contracts. They're big themselves, so they can achieve a good price in the market. But perhaps starting with the municipal buildings, where the town's buildings might want to either join the program or purchase green electricity supply through another venue, that would be another goal for them. And then to try to get the other big businesses in town to similarly get 100% renewable electricity, and really to get those businesses to follow the leadership of the residents in the community. So that's where the program is today, and those are some of the goals going forward.
And Paul is rather modest When we ask Paul something, he says, yes, we'll figure out a way to make that happen. And one of the things that Paul has done is he's put together 3 different options for commercial customers. Very attractive options. Who knows which ones the commercial customers will take, but he's gone out and done some things outside of the box in order to help us achieve these goals. I can't thank him enough for that.